You enjoy podcasts. We know because you're listening to one. Hi, I'm Jason Falls, the executive producer of the Marketing Podcast Network. We love podcasts too, so much so that in addition to providing you with the great episode you're listening to, we also help businesses, brands, and even individuals produce their podcasts. MPN Studios offers podcast consulting and production services to help you get you or your business its very own podcast. We've helped dozens of smart people, advertising agencies, and brands develop podcasts. All you do is record your content or interview. We take that and deliver a professionally produced audio or video episode complete with show notes, transcriptions, and even promotional clips to use on social media. And our monthly subscription prices are hard to beat. If you or your company are jonesing to have your own podcast to establish thought leadership, drive business leads, or just have fun talking about your business or topic of choice, we'd love to help. Learn more at marketingpodcasts.net/studio. That's marketingpodcasts.net/studio.
Hey, have you heard about Podcast On? This is a global podcast charity event where hosts dedicate one episode to a nonprofit they care about and release it together the same week. No fundraising, no fees, just powerful storytelling for good. Podcast On 2026 runs March 14th to March 20th. Join thousands of podcasters worldwide and use your voice for impact. It's free, it's simple, and it starts at podcasthon.org.
The Marketing Podcast Network is a proud partner of Podcast On.
Welcome to Your Radiant Spirit, the podcast where art, energy, and inspiration come alive. Hosted by award-winning intuitive painter Heather Eck, synesthetic artist, chakra expert, and spiritual guide, this show invites you to explore the transformative power of color, creativity, and spiritual healing. Heather's unique gift of seeing color through energy fuels her stunning spirit portraits and chakra-aligned artworks, designed to bring healing and alignment to your life. Whether you're curious about the magic of chakras, looking to unlock your creative potential, or eager to connect with your radiant spirit, you're in the right place. Your radiant spirit is calling. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to Your Radiant Spirit. I am so excited to welcome today's guest, who is somebody that I met a few weeks ago at a Mind Body Spirit fair. I had the privilege of having her work with me, and I can't wait to tell you about that experience. She's somebody who truly embodies what it means to walk the path of healing and purpose. This is Diane Stakoe. She's an intuitive healing artist, a light language channel, and spiritual mentor who blends energy healing, hypnosis, soul coaching, and light language into her deeply transformative work. With a foundation in mind-body therapies, Reiki, and her own lived experience of healing past trauma, Diane holds space for others to explore their inner truth and reconnect with their highest selves. Her journey from the corporate world of marketing into the world of intuitive healing is such a powerful example of what can happen when you choose to follow your inner calling. Diane's work is heart-led, soul-deep, and fully anchored in helping others holistically heal and thrive. So I can't wait for you to hear this beautiful conversation. Let's dive in. Welcome, Diane.
Thank you so much.
I'm so happy
glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you here. It was so nice meeting you at the Mind Body Spirit fair in March. It's hard to believe we're in April already.
I know. That was a beautiful event. And yes, I felt your energy right away being at the table next to you. So it was meant to be.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really cool. I felt like I was in between two really great healers. And I was glad that I got to actually experience your work, even in like a small dose. I could tell how powerful your energy is and how strong it is, but strong and calming, because I remember sitting with you and you were channeling light language over me, and I felt like I could just take a nap. It was so relaxing. There's something about that work. Can you tell us more about what you do and how you got started?
Absolutely. Yeah. So as you beautifully introduced me, I kind of as an artist, and you know how that goes as an artist, right? We tap into different mediums or different tools to use in our work and our practice. And throughout the many years that I have been, on my own healing journey and tapping into different modalities to help myself heal, and learning along the way, getting certified in quite a few different things, as I've felt called to or drawn to. I didn't start out, after high school knowing like, oh, I want to be an energy healer. Didn't happen that way at all.
They don't offer that as a major, right?
They do not offer that as a major. No, not even. It's not even on those career aptitude tests, which I think the number one thing for me, career on the test that I took in high school was to become a florist, which I always thought was funny because I've always been very drawn to nature and the just how that was part of my healing journey as a child, growing up in a home that had a lot of turmoil. I would just go out into the woods or to the beaches, sit with rocks because it would make me feel better. Just being in the frequency of nature and I didn't know that's what was happening at the time. I was just so drawn to, and as a kid back then, I could just wander around by myself a lot, or with friends without adults. It was a very different world. And growing up on the coast of Massachusetts, there were a lot of beautiful places near my home where I would go. But I didn't get into or really learn about energy work until I was had a health crisis. Although I started started taking yoga classes in my early 20s, not really realizing at the time that was a form of working with energy, whereas, everything is energy, but connecting the breath, connecting the physical body, which is a form of energy, and the breath is a form of energy. Our thoughts are a form of energy. And then when we manipulate them in different ways through movement or changing our thoughts, using the breath, using other modalities, connecting with source, the creator, the divine, God, whatever you want to, however you choose to identify with that something greater than ourselves. There's so much power in that. And I do believe we are all healers. So I had a healing or a health crisis in my early 30s. And at the time of that health crisis, I was about to graduate from massage therapy school. I had gotten a 4-year degree in marketing. I had been in the corporate world, working for a national magazine, and left that to have my first child. And after my first daughter was born, I had been having reoccurring back pain, which I had when I was younger. Chronic back pain kind of came back, and I had been working with a physical therapist, and she had done a lot of massage with me, and I was going to a chiropractor. He said, go back to yoga. And the combination of those two things was like, wow, this is really powerful work that's making me feel a lot better. I decided then that I wanted to be able to help other people feel better in their bodies too. So I enrolled in a massage therapy training, and that's where I learned about energy healing. That was part of the curriculum. And so I took a Reiki class within that training, and that was really the opening. That was 20 years ago. To all things energy healing. And it has just evolved my work with it, my understanding of it, how I use it now with myself and with the clients that I work with and the groups that I work with.
So thank you for sharing all of that. I think Reiki sort of calls people at certain times when I kind of think of crystals as like the gateway into a spiritual journey. Crystals are such a gentle way to connect with energy, with color, with spiritual symbolism. And then I think there's also this call to Reiki where you're like, I want to understand energy. I know that it's this unseen thing. I know that, frequency is important. I know there's all these things that I think call us in. And then I think that helps us sort of it's like the gateway, drug to spirituality almost. And then it opens you up to this bigger world or this deeper world of spiritual development, intuitive development that maybe you didn't even know existed. And I hadn't really heard, I mean, maybe I'd heard of light language, but I hadn't really ever looked into it or knew what it was. So how did you get involved in that? Because I heard you on another show where you were telling a story about how light language came into your life, and it's very serendipitous. I'd love if you could share it with us here. It sounded so cool.
Yeah. And I believe that, everything happens in divine timing. I had never heard of light language either. And I had been working with energy and had, different energetic modalities for quite some time. But about 3 years ago, I received a call from a friend of mine who lives up in Massachusetts. And she had asked me if I had ever heard of it. And I said, no. And she said, yeah, I haven't either, but I just experienced it from somebody I met. They asked if I was open to receiving it. They had met in a class that they were taking. And my friend just said, and my friend was just carrying some grief. She had lost a relative and so was feeling, weighted with that. So this woman was called to channel light language over her. And she just said, my whole energy shifted, Diane. She's like, my body was vibrating. And she's like, I have no idea what this woman was saying. She said, but it just felt like this just beautiful wave of energy washing over me. And I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds incredible. So I, kind of did some Googling and saw a few videos online of some people channeling it. And I didn't really think much of it at the time. I just thought it was kind of curious and interesting. And then I filed it away. And a few weeks after that, I was just doing my own toning meditation, toning the sounds of the chakras. And the best way is to describe it is I felt in my throat that there was more that wanted to come out than just the specific sounds that I was toning at the time. If you know anything about the chakras, right, it's all about the different frequencies. There's a color associated with them, and there's also a sound associated with each chakra. And so I just kind of relaxed into it and just was like, okay, well, let's just see what happens. And just different sounds started to come out. And it felt choppy at first, but I realized like, oh my gosh, this is that light language thing that's coming through. And I was just so fascinated by it. So I would, when I was by myself, I would start playing with it and I would record it. And over the period of a few weeks, it started to just flow more easily and fluidly. And then it would change because it's not a language. So I guess we should back up and just, first of all, tell people what it is. It is not a language that, like the languages that we know today, where you can study and learn them, or that that they're words, they're made up of words. It's a frequency. They're made up of sounds. And some people call it the language of light, because light is a frequency. It's an energy. It's also known as soul language. So we all have our unique soul language, that we can tap into. Some people, not everybody, can speak it vocally. Sometimes it comes through in the form of writing, which looks like symbols or hieroglyphics, or scribbling. Sometimes when I'm channeling it, I have pages and pages and pages of channeled light language, and they're all so different. Just like when I'm channeling it vocally, the frequencies can be so different one from the next. And then it also comes through in motions of my hands. Like I'm picking up the energy you can't see the energy, but I'm picking it up and I'm bringing in these coded frequencies, just as if I was writing them with a pen. I'm, picking up the energy with my hand, and it's almost like writing in the air, or clearing, sweeping, lifting energy around somebody's field or my own field.
Wow. Yeah. And I have experienced it. And for me, yeah,
you did.
I did. And I have never experienced anything like it. I have friends who are gifted shamans and energy healers. And so my body responds pretty strongly to energy work. I can feel it in my physical body. I can sort of energetically feel it. And because of my, synesthesia, I also see the color in my mind's eye too, as I'm working, or as somebody's working on me. And while I'm working and while I'm painting too, I see color and shapes and all in my mind. So I remember sitting with you, feeling sort of energetic movement. I could feel myself sort of start to swirl a little bit. I could feel and see different colors popping in to my mind's eye. And I remember feeling very, very relaxed and very calm. And you were speaking these beautiful, I want to say words, but they weren't really words. They were sounds and trills and different sort of musical notes. It felt like that you were saying over me. And I remember saying like, oh my gosh, it almost sounds like speaking in tongues, but it's not. It's something completely different and hard to describe unless you experience it. And I'm sure you sort of have to put yourself into a state to receive the language, to offer that to us in a session. So even if I were to ask you now, can you say what some of those sounds are? Would you be able to? Or is it something that you only sort of receive in your download, I guess, when you're working with a client?
No, I can start channeling really at any time, but it's not spontaneous where like I'd be in the grocery store and all of a sudden I start blurting stuff out. Like I have control over it in that regard. But it's just like as if you were to just turn on a radio, like turn on a channel, turn on your TV, like it's on. And so just with the intention of connecting in, I can connect in. I never know exactly what's going to come through sometimes when I connect in. Usually when I just start channeling, it's my soul language because I'm connecting to my own energetic field. And this is the beautiful thing. So like people are like, well, why would you want to do that? What's the purpose of it? Light language is said to be the language or the form of communication that humanity used or spoke before the languages that we know today were developed. There's no lower frequencies in it. It is the language of light. It's the language of the divine. It's the language of love. And it bypasses the thinking mind. So when people hear it, they want to know, what are you saying? And I always just guide them into their heart and say, what are you feeling? What do you feel when you receive? It's a frequency, just as if you were in a sound bath listening to musical instruments. And so there can be, when I channel it, it can sound like a language. Sometimes it sounds a little French or a little Russian or a little Asian, but they're not translatable words. Although I often do get translated messaging that comes through. And we always trust that whatever is coming to us, through me, for somebody else, is always for the greatest and highest good. For their healing and their soul's evolution. Light language speaks on a cellular level. So it's actually here for us to ascend and up-level our DNA, to release karma, to clear generational patterns and trauma. We are in these incredible energetic times right now, planetary shifts and all that, solar flares, where we are ascending into these lighter bodies, these moving from the 3D to the 5D. And light language is here to assist us to do that. And so when I'm working with people, I am helping them move their energy, clearing things, shifting, whatever it is, if it's in the physical or limiting beliefs, past conditioning. There's so much that it can speak to. And, I'm a certified transpersonal hypnotist too. And when I had a session with somebody the other day who she has a lot of anxiety, and she booked a hypnosis session, and she just could not get into that trance state. Her mind was just online. And so she knows that I channel light language, and I said, "Are you open to me just channeling for you, just to receive?" And she was, and it was just, she just had such a profound shift in everything, just feeling into it, just hearing what was coming through and just letting go. It was an invitation for her to like truly let go, because she was hearing it, but yet her mind had no idea what I was, saying, but it was a felt sense. And she said it just felt like this wave of just peace and calm washing over her. And that's how I feel when I channel it. If I'm feeling out of alignment with my truth, with, my higher self, I will connect in, whether it's vocally or just moving energy with my hands. And I feel lighter within just a few moments usually.
Yeah.
So it's an empowering tool for us to tap into. I mean, crystals are great. There's so many tools out there. The oracle cards and tarot, and I use them too. But this is something that we have within us to use for our own self-healing and evolution.
Yeah, it really is incredible. And I'm so glad that I was able to experience it with you too, because I feel like it is one of those things that's hard to describe and hard to sort of wrap your mind around unless you've gotten it. I think my work is similar in the way that I intuit and see color for people or can read their energy. It's hard to sort of put that on a business card, and tell people exactly what it is, especially with all of the different modalities that you use. And
I have struggled with that for a long time and still do. Like, I don't know how to market myself. How do you sell this?
So how did you go from, so you experienced the soul language, the light language. How did you then go from, I'm going to leave my day job and do this kind of work? What was that journey like for you?
Well, the light language channeling came way after I left my corporate job.
Oh, okay.
So I left that position quite a long time ago, when it was so I knew when I had that health crisis happening, I knew that I just had this inner knowing that I was not only going to be okay, but that I was going to go on to help other people heal. And I had no idea. It was just, the weeks where I was laying in bed and having these like crazy fevers, and I was diagnosed with Lyme's disease. I had a lot of visions, and it was shortly after I had my first experience. It was actually right after I enrolled in massage therapy school. So I kind of knew that I was on that path, but it was then that it was like, this is why you're here. This is why you're here. This is what you're here to do. And so I had left my corporate job when I had kids and worked in nonprofit for a short time when they were really little. But I always kept coming back to, I'm supposed to do something else, and this is not it. And so, that's how I got into. I started as a massage therapist and teaching yoga, and then I did that for, 13 or 14 years. left my massage practice at the end of 2018, and I was feeling a real push to bring, because I wasn't really using, I mean, massage therapy is a form of energy work too, but people don't really know that. They're not, they're like massages for working on the muscles, right? And so I was really feeling the push to be bringing it into my work. And the clients that I had, they just weren't really open to it. There were a few, and some really profound things were happening. My psychic abilities were, enhancing. And, but I was shown that I was supposed to be teaching. And this was before COVID. This was at the beginning of 2019. I was shown to be teaching energy healing online. And so I did that for a few months at the beginning of 2019. And I don't even know how these people across the country found me, but they did. I wasn't really out there on social media much. It was so serendipitous.
Yeah.
And so I had taught quite a few. I didn't call it Reiki. I called it sacred energy healing. But I also knew this was not really bringing in a paycheck. I had two daughters who were getting ready to go to college. And so one of my certifications is as a holistic health and life coach. So I ended up going to work with a naturopathic doctor. This was after I shut down my massage practice at the end of 2018. And was working as the health coach in this practice. And I just knew after a couple months, this is not my calling. This is, maybe I'll do this for a year, but I know I'm here to do more deeper work with people. And still not really knowing what that was. I always knew. It's so funny because I used to start walking in my neighborhood, and this is probably around the same time. I would see these signs on telephone poles, and they're like municipal signs, like the yield sign is like yellow on these telephone poles that said self-healing. And I'm like,
oh, I've seen those.
Have you seen those?
I
I'm
have.
like, what does that mean? Why?
They always make me laugh because I'm like, how is that box self-healing?
Yeah. The weirdest random.
Yeah.
So I would always see it, and I'm like, and it would just resonate. Like you're supposed to be teaching people how to heal. And so, anyways, then COVID hit, and I got laid off from that job, and things happened. Like I didn't know nobody knew what was happening then, right, in 2020. I thought that, okay, we're working to go into an online model. And so I took a course in how to take your health practice online. And that was completely draining. After a 6-month intensive course of doing that, I was like, this just doesn't feel right. I don't want to be sitting at my computer all day long, doing all that. It just was not allowing me the creativity that I just felt like not able to express in a way. And so it's really been since 2020, like really me figuring out what is it I'm here to do. I really feel I'm here to do energy work. And not everybody, most people don't know what that is. So how do you make that business model work? And so I've been, dabbling in other part-time jobs just to be making a paycheck while I'm building up, really starting from scratch again, because again, my massage clients really were not interested. And there were a couple that, were kind of interested. And after I started channeling about 3 years ago, probably within about 6 months, it was like, or really probably within about 3 months of me channeling, I was hearing the message, this is not just for you. You need to bring this into your work. And so I started doing that. And then about a year in, it was like, okay, you need to bring this into like groups. So I started doing some group healing sessions, and I still offer those. And then this past 2024, it was like, you need to start teaching people and activating them to their own light language. And so I offer workshops in light language, just teaching people what it is and how to connect with their own. And I also offer one-on-one sessions with that, and been doing more group healing events, collaborating with other practitioners like sound bath and other energy healers. So that has felt aligned. And then I also, do one-on-one sessions, transformational healing sessions through a variety of modalities, depending on what people need. Some people come for one session. Other people I work with more for longer periods of time. I offer healing packages from 2 weeks, 6 weeks, or 12 weeks, where we're working really closely together. For those who are brand new to this work, or who have a lot of chronic issues, health issues, or just helping people along their spiritual awakening journey too, with spiritual mentorship. Yeah, because as you know, and probably most of your listeners know, we're like an onion, right? We just keep peeling back the layers of trauma and denser, heavier energies through our own inner work. And I would not be here today if I had not had all the teachers, healers, mentors come in and out of my life at the times when I needed them. And that's been a variety of different energetic healing modalities.
Amazing. I love that. And you've got a YouTube channel too. Tell us about the content that you put out there.
Yeah, so that's with a colleague and dear friend of mine who I actually used to work in the corporate world with back in the 1990s. And she and I got disconnected when I moved south. And, we were single at the time. And, since then we got married and had kids, and then got reconnected. Right after I started channeling light language, I joined a Facebook group and to learn more about light language. And there's my friend from corporate America in the group channeling light language.
Wow.
So she's been great. She's been a mentor to me, helping me learn more about it. She started channeling a few years before I did, but she and I started a YouTube channel last year, and it's conversations and channeling. So we talk about a lot of different spiritual practices and bringing, what spirituality in the everyday looks like, as well as bringing in channeled light language transmissions for different, we just did one last week, I think it was, and it was on just kind of this energetic shift that we're going through now for new beginnings, spring, and kind of the rebirth. And we just trust that when we connect in with the energies, like it comes through. And that YouTube channel is called Soul Light Collective. Awesome. With Karen and Diane. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I'll put those links in the show notes so people can find you. That was one of the questions that I had for you too. Like, as you think about, the collective shifts that we're all going through now globally, and even in our own country, like, do you find that you receive intuitive messages or soul language for the world, or for, different parts? Do you experience that kind of energetic frequency through your soul language in large ways too? Does that come through for you?
It does. Yes, it does. And I do a lot of automatic writing too. So just connecting in, channeling, with my whatever you want to call it, higher self or guides, or, I do believe that we really are our own guide. We definitely have support around us. But connecting into the collective energies, for divine guidance, yes, I do receive for the collective. And when I'm doing this work, bringing in light language to groups, a lot of times translated messaging will come through for the collective.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you had a client whose story has really impacted you, or kind of left a lasting impression on your work and how you kind of function?
Oh gosh, I have had so so many. I mean, my clients are amazing, and it's just such a true honor to be part of somebody's journey. Um, I just feel like it's such a gift to be able to do this work. And I mean, I often cry when I receive like testimonials from people sometimes, and just being able to just be what they needed in the moment, whether that was just a one-time session or, somebody that I've been working with for a while, and just the shifts that I see in people are so profound sometimes. And some of the stories that I hear, I mean, I know that we've all experienced trauma, in some way, shape, or form throughout our lives. Some of the stories that I hear are just mind-blowing, and being able to offer them hope and healing from something they've been carrying for a lifetime, or sometimes it's lifetimes. I do also work to clear energetic patterns that are carried into this lifetime from other lifetimes, from past lives. I can't say that one is jumping out at me at the moment.
But you feel a deep emotion. And it sounds like you're moved by people's responses to your sessions, which is,
very much so.
Yeah.
And almost, and you probably get this too. I feel like just about every session, there's a message in it for me too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
I think that's 100% true. I always say, like, the painting that I do for someone offers just as much healing for me as it does for the person that's receiving it.
Yeah.
And I think that's because, collaboration is so important in how we move through the world, and partnering with somebody in a session, no matter the modality, I think is a form of collaboration, and we get to receive the benefit of the healing that we're offering, and vice versa, right? Like we there's something really beautiful about that conversation that links us all energetically, and I think is so healing for everybody. And like you said earlier, I think we're all healers, right? Like, we're all meant to be in this world and offer our gifts and service. And I think when we step into our gifts, and we do it authentically, and we channel from the highest form, that's when the real work is like rippled out into the world. And that's how we help each other heal. That's how we help each other connect. And that's what hopefully elevates the consciousness for all of us. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's one of my favorite things about doing this work, is when I hear from other people, not just their own shifts that they're experiencing, but how people, that they live with or work with are changing, right?
Yeah.
Because it is a ripple effect. When we are vibrating at a higher frequency, by doing the inner work, by clearing away the stuff that's no longer serving us, and really being with our feelings. We have to feel in order to heal. And
Exactly.
not everybody wants to do that, and that's okay. We're all on our own journey. But when we are, I mean, I've seen shifts in people close to me, just without them really like understanding what I do, or just because I'm at such a higher frequency now myself. So it's like people are either gonna come up with you, or they're not, and they're gonna fall away because it's too much, right?
Yeah.
When we're at this higher frequency, and we can feel brought down too if we're not careful of how we manage our energy energetically. But yeah, no, it is a ripple effect. And to hear stories about how people's children or spouses or siblings or whatever have shifted, is so cool.
Yeah. It's so inspiring, right? And
It's
those
so
are the kinds of
inspiring.
things, yeah, that keep you going when the times feel tough too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell us, where can people find you and experience your work and work with you?
Yeah. Well, again, my YouTube channel, if you want to just kind of get a taste of what light language is and learn a little bit more about it, Soul Light Collective. I have an office in North Raleigh, but I also work with clients all over, so online too. And energy has no boundaries. And I often find that some of the virtual sessions that I do are even more powerful than in person. But I know a lot of people do like in-person sessions.
Mhm.
But you can just learn more about me and my offerings on my website, which is my name, DianeStakoe.com. And yeah, you can schedule an appointment. I offer different kinds of sessions again and packages, and I also offer free clarity connection calls if you're just not sure about this work. If you have any questions about maybe working more extensively than just one session, I like to talk to people first before, just people booking a package, and just to find out if this is really what they're looking for, and if it feels like the right fit. But I don't just see somebody and then that's it. Like it's a journey. I'm here to support people and guide them along the way, because things come up, after sessions, as you know, as an energy healer, and sometimes it takes a few days or even a little bit longer for energies to integrate, and we just never know. But most people receive it pretty well, and getting lots of rest with any energy work you always want to get a lot of rest and self-care and drink a lot of water after your sessions.
That's great. That's great. And you have a special offer for the listeners too. Your Illuminate Your Path. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So I'm offering at a special rate for listeners of your show an Illuminate Your Path session, which is a 30-minute intuitive session where I am channeling light language, maybe your soul language. And the session really is for people who are looking for healing work or are looking for guidance in some area of their life. And we always just trust, because there can always be an intention, or there always should be an intention. However, we know that there's always a greater plan, and we trust that whatever comes through is exactly what's supposed to come through for your greatest and highest in your body, mind, and spirit.
Awesome. Well, that's so generous of you. Thank you for that. I'll put all the details in the show notes so folks can find you and connect with you. And I, for one, can't wait to check out more of your videos on your YouTube channel. So that's awesome. Well,
thank you. And they can always email me too if they want to have any specific questions. And
perfect.
Which is Diane@DianeStakoe.com.
Okay, awesome. I'll include that too. Well, Diane, thank you so much for being on the show today. It was so nice to connect with you and to see you again. And
you too.
I hope that folks who are listening will get an opportunity to experience the light language, because it was really incredible. It was something I've never experienced before. I felt like I was laying in a hammock and was being like my soul was being massaged. It was just so relaxing and so calming. And then, if I recall, you pulled a couple of cards for me too that deeply resonated as well. So just a really great. You have such a beautiful energy, a calming energy, and I appreciate how you hold space for all of us to find healing in this world that feels so hard sometimes. So thank you again.
Thank you. And I love what you said about, and that's not the first time somebody has described my work as like, it's like a massage for your soul.
Yeah, that's really what it felt like. Yeah. There, you put it on your business card.
I'll have to think about that one.
Thank you for joining us on Your Radiant Spirit. If today's episode lit up your creativity or helped you connect with your inner energy, please leave us a review and share your thoughts. Your feedback helps us spread more light to others. To dive deeper, visit www.heathereck.com for courses, workshops, and custom spirit portraits. And for daily inspiration and behind-the-scenes magic, follow Heather on Instagram at @HeatherEckArtist. Your radiant spirit is calling. Take the next step on your journey. See you next time.
This podcast is heard along the Marketing Podcast Network. For more great marketing podcasts, visit marketingpodcasts.net.